Hello and welcome back to the Hold for Hold Pro Wrestling channel. I am your host, Jaime, still not giving my last name and will figure out a new one eventually. But today we will be discussing Monday Night Raw from last night. Boy, was it a stacked show. This was one of the best Raws of the year, no doubt about that. Twitter was blowing up for the main event, the opener, everything. Everything was good. Well, shouldn't say everything was good, but we'll get to the bad parts as they come. But before all that, please make sure to like, subscribe, share this podcast or channel, whatever you may call it. Make sure you're just supporting the show. That would really help us out here. And by us, I mean me and you. So without any further ado, actually, there is some further ado, as we had some big news this morning. I didn't want to make a whole video about it, but Brian Danielson now, released an open letter discussing a whole bunch of things, but most interestingly, he gave a shout out to Vince McMahon, even saying as much as, "I wish the world saw you the way I see you." So really touching stuff from just stand up guy, honestly. And it's officially on Twitter, I believe. It's on his Twitter. You can find the link to it. Really good read if you're interested in that kind of backstage or just where his mindset is heading into AEW Grand Slam, which we will be discussing right after this Raw review. But now, no more ado. Let's get right into this as we open up with Raw. No Ric Flair woo in the intro package. A couple people on Twitter pointed out he has been cut out of the WWE intro, which after his statements yesterday, I'm glad. Anyways, let's lift our spirits here with the power of positivity as the New Day are making their celebration ceremony. We come to the ring, or they come to the ring, and Big E is very emotional. Right before he even speaks, you can see he's holding back tears. It's a really good moment. The crowd is giving him the "You deserve it" chants, which he 100% does. And so, yeah, just great little moment there. He starts off by thanking everyone who supported him, and he gives a little touching tribute to Brody, which was really nice. And the crowd started chanting Brody. But he says that the celebration has to be cut a bit short because he has business to squash with the Usos and their tribal chief Roman Reigns, and that calls out the Bloodline. Bloodline come to the ring, and they say that this is their show now, and they're going. Oh, sorry, my bad. I made a mistake here. The New Day still solidify that Raw is still their show, and they're gonna send the Bloodline packing. That brings out the Bloodline. Roman and Big E hold their belts up for a face to face, and we go to commercial. We come back. It is the Bloodline versus New Day 6-man tag team match. Just a really fun match overall. And I do want to touch on that ceremony a little bit. I felt that it was a really touching moment for Big E to really be able to soak in that he is the WWE champion, and the crowd gave him exactly what they should have. Everything that they, were chanting and they were cheering for him felt really good as a fan to watch that. Someone who has worked so hard get that moment. But anyways, going into this match between the Bloodline and the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Jimmy Uso start off the match. It's pretty back and forth. Kofi Kingston flips out of a monkey flip, so he lands right on his feet. Looked cool. We get some fast double team from Woods and Kofi for 2. They get Big E in for a second. He does a couple clotheslines. He tags in Woods again. And Woods immediately loses the advantage. So loses the advantage. Jay comes in with a slam, and Heyman on the outside going, "I bet that hurt. I bet that hurt." It was a good little bit there. Kofi gets a sneaky tag off a rebound, and then he hits a nice crossbody in the ring. Roman Reigns goes in, grabs Kofi, starts destroying him outside the ring, throwing him over the announce table, and we get another face-off between the remaining New Day and the Bloodline as we head into commercial. Kofi looks to make a comeback when we come back from commercial. He looks for the hot tag, but Jimmy nails Xavier Woods, who's still on the apron with the super kick, not enabling Kofi to get that tag in. Kofi turns things around with a cave in from the middle rope, which looked nice. We get the hot tag to Big E. Big E's in the match now. Jimmy tags in Roman Reigns. We have two big, meaty men slapping meat to start off this show. We get a forearm exchange from the two of them, and Big E starts hitting belly to belly suplexes. I believe 3 in a row. Jimmy distracts Big E for a second, and that gives Roman just enough time to hit a big Uranagi. Looks great. E comes back with another suplex and a big splash. Roman escapes the big ending. Woods is legal now. E launches Kofi into to the outside, kind of like a springboard situation. Launches him right to the outside onto the Usos. Woods hits a super kick on Roman inside the ring for 2. And then this is where things kind of fall off the rails. And I mean this literally, because Bobby Lashley shows up, destroys everyone on the outside, hits a spear to Big E, starts beating up on the Usos, beats up on on Kofi. Meanwhile, ref sees all of this, doesn't call for the bell, doesn't care in the slightest. Sees all this. So it's Roman and Woods still in the ring. Woods is distracted, gets hit with a spear for 3. It shouldn't have counted the pin there, ref. I mean, should have been a DQ. I think Woods even on Twitter clarified that they won by disqualification, but no, you did not, sir, because that ref counted 3. So that's my only critique of this match, unfortunately, is that it was not, it was a DQ. Woods should not have any pin. Roman starts celebrating in the middle of the ring as if Bobby Lashley didn't just take out the Usos, and Bobby Lashley hits him with a spear in the ring. Bobby goes to the outside and hits another spear to Big E, this time through the barricade. And Bobby Lashley's steaming, just furious this whole time. No MVP by his side, so he is just a monster unleashed. I really enjoyed this beatdown, especially because commentary made a good point mentioning that he doesn't have MVP with him, which I'm guessing is going to be like he's off the leash now. There's no one to reel him in when he goes too far. So if we keep seeing character development like this is going to be very interesting to see between now and Extreme Rules. Following that, we go to commercial, we come back. Bobby Lashley is confronting Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville in their office. He's ranting about everyone overlooked him, but the almighty era isn't over. They held this shot a little too long there. Once Bobby finished his speech, they just kind of all stood there quietly, and it looked really awkward and didn't look intimidating. But overall, I think it's fine. It's just 5 seconds too long. Following that, we have RKBro Backstage. Matt Riddle's trying to cheer up Randy Orton after his loss to Bobby Lashley last week. He tells Randy that he's going to beat Skipper, which is, of course, AJ Styles. I don't know why he calls him that, but I enjoy it every time. Matt Riddle starts to tell a story that sounds a little too familiar to The Lion King, and Randy asked him if he's sure he's not confused with the movie, and Riddle assures him that he's not. And at that point, Randy tells him that he needs to save this story to tell to Omos so he can distract him for his match. So they get a little plan going there. And then Randy thanks Riddle for the new headphones that I guess Riddle got them, matching pairs. Just a nice little segment there, a little more of that, charm that this team has. I don't think it's getting stale quite yet because of the new little more appreciation that Randy has for Riddle, and we're going to see that more into this match. So, still fresh for me. I still enjoy it. I don't know if they're ever going to turn on each other at this point. Honestly, they're too over. Following that, we have an Eva Marie and Doudrop match. This actually, I don't know. I haven't shared my thoughts on the whole Eva Marie return, and I am not a fan of hers pretty much at all. I wasn't a fan of her back when she first debuted, back when she came back, when SmackDown Live first started, and then now. I think this is the best I've seen her, to be honest. I think that what her character does is to get over Doudrop and to eventually get Piper Niven to blossom into a superstar. And I think with that in mind, I can have a better attitude toward this feud. Um, but before the match, Eva drops a promo. She just says, "I'm not shaming anyone, but look at her and look at me." She calls Doudrop a mess and that she'll never be the woman that Eva Marie is. We start the match off with a little bit of a game of cat and mouse. Eva is trying to go in and out of the ring, trying to avoid Doudrop at all costs. Eventually, she gets dropped with a slam, and then immediately a senton gets hit with a crossbody for the win. Just a very quick match once Doudrop got her hands on her. And again, I'm okay with this. It was short. It didn't really slow anything down too much. Doudrop is definitely getting over with the crowd, especially after that promo Eva dropped. I think this is all working towards getting Piper Nivens. Then I'm fine with it. You know, I think this is gonna propel Piper Nivens to a new place, at least maybe, hopefully, in the main event section. So we'll see. I'm okay with this for now. And honestly, it looks like this could have been the end of it. They were kind of hinting that this is the last bit of the feud, but this is WWE, so it's going to drag out a little longer than it needs to. Following that, Big E is confronting Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville in their office now. He's yelling, saying that he wants Roman tonight, which, if Bobby attacked you, why don't you ask for Bobby? But whatever, it's okay. Go to commercial, we come back. Paul Heyman is now in Adam Pearce's office, and he's saying that Big E is running the shots around here because he's yelling and screaming and blah, blah, blah. Adam Pearce cuts off Paul Heyman, doesn't want to hear him. And Sonya announces the triple threat match for the main event. It's going to be Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns, and Big E. Big man, slapping meat, triple threat match. Very excited for this at this point. And wasn't expecting this. I honestly thought that the Bloodline New Day match was going to main event and the whole show would be building towards that main event. And so this twist I was very much in for, although I just wish the finish to that original match wasn't so weird. Anyways, we get the Randy Orton and with Matt Riddle against AJ Styles with the Moss. So two veterans starting off with some classic wrestling, each trying to get a little backslide in. Just very simple chain wrestling there. Randy avoids a clothesline and nearly hits the RKO, and AJ is definitely startled at that point. Randy goes off the ropes, almost trips Randy, and Randy's unable to make a pin off a maneuver because of it, and almost gets thrown out. Randy makes a big enough fit and gets almost thrown out of the match. Riddle starts to kind of antagonize Omos as he's leaving. He's doing the goodbye, goodbye. So Omos attacks Riddle, and Randy stands there and just yells at him from inside the ring. And that distraction allows for AJ to take over. He dumps Randy to the outside, hits a phenomenal forearm on the outside. And so go to commercial, we come back. AJ is about to, he looks for another phenomenal forearm, but instead takes a nasty bump on the middle rope. Oh, actually, no, I misspoke. AJ was running towards Randy, who was set up in the corner, and instead just eats the middle rope. It was pretty nasty. Randy starts to make a comeback from here. He's doing his clotheslines, but he's selling his knee. I think at one point AJ gave him a chop block, so that's affecting him. He's taking a look at his knee. AJ charges toward him, and he still hits the snap power slam, so it still looked pretty nice. Orton goes for that DDT he does from the middle rope, but AJ pulls him into the rope instead for like a whiplash effect. AJ on the top rope, and Randy cradles his head while he's mounted up there, and it looks like it's about to be a super RKO, but no, AJ slides down, locks in a sleeper. He gets him to the corner. AJ goes for a tornado DDT, can't hit it. Randy instead gets a great looking T-bone suplex that looked like there was a little bit of struggling there between both of them that made it feel more real, and I really enjoyed that. Off the T-bone, AJ's coming back with he's doing his strikes, his back fist, and then he hits the nice Pele kick there. Randy has a cut on his brow at this point, so that looked kind of nasty. AJ Styles hits a beautiful lion salt for 2, and here we head into the finish as AJ goes for a phenomenal forearm, gets to the top, and then sees that Randy is about to hit an RKO on him, so he stops, and Randy stops, and they both point at each other like that Spider-Man meme of them seeing each other. So pretty cute little moment there, and a good callback to all their matches they've had. They've done this similar spot, and they know each other so well at this point, which is so great to have Randy Orton and AJ Styles have multiple matches. Those are ones you're gonna want to cherish. They both, like I said, they both point at each other. AJ looks to get back in the ring, but Randy's a little too fast and hits him with the middle rope DDT, and then picks him up for an RKO for the 3. Great match here. Just a fun veteran style match, clean in every sense of the word. Like everything was done to perfection, and this feud has been fantastic. I really wish it wasn't for the tag team titles, and I'll get to what I think should be for the tag team titles here in a minute. But other than that, this is a really fun feud. Moving on, we have the Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler match, which I talked about a little bit yesterday on the Wrestling News Roundup as we looked at the preview for Raw, that this was announced, and it still felt rushed to have this match announced, okay? With that being said, this is one of my favorite matches and segments of the show. I don't know if that's going to be an unpopular opinion, but I really enjoyed the acting in this match, and it felt like two sisters were feuding with each other. Like, if you have siblings and you've been mad at your sibling, you understand that sort of feeling of like you don't really want to hurt the other sibling's feelings, so you're holding back. And once these two got in the ring, that's kind of what it felt like. There was a lot of trash talk to start off the match, and then Nia immediately picks up Shayna for a Samoan drop, but lets her down and just lets her know that that was easy. Like, she could do this. She could finish you right there. Shayna doesn't like that. They start brawling a little bit. It gets a little messy, but then Shayna starts hitting some stiff strikes, just kicks and knees, and they're loud, and that gets the crowd into it. And then we get a quick finish as Shayna locks in the clutch. Nia trying to use her power to power out of it, hit her in the corner, kind of do that slam backwards on her, but she can't get Shayna to break the clutch. And Nia passes out, and she's screaming while she's, on the ground. And that's the first bit of Nia screaming for the night. After the match, Shayna has Nia on the Shayna has Nia on the outside, and Nia's out of it. She can't help herself here, but she puts Nia's arm into the ring steps and stomps on it, and Nia is begging for Shayna not to do it. She's begging and begging for her not to do it, and Shayna looks like she hesitates, but then she hits it, and then she does it again. And again, more screaming. And then once the second one's over, Nia starts crying on the mat. I really enjoyed it. I think it shows this like real breakup, and this is definitive. They have broken up. This is going to be a feud, and there's been like trust broken. There's a deeper issue here of Nia feels betrayed by Shayna. I think it was good stuff. And Shayna is hesitant in all these stomps, and it shows some guilt and some like character work there. It's not so cut and dry. I really enjoyed this segment. I'm not gonna say it's like Roman and Jey Uso levels of drama, but it's touching on, the kind of, they're using their words more than their actions, and their actions are speaking in line with everything. So I really enjoyed this segment. I think that's probably going to be, an unpopular opinion because it's Shayna and Nia, but I really did. I really enjoyed this. Moving on, this is where I would want to see the tag team championships at. We have Mansoor and Ali versus the most handsome team in WWE, Angel Garza and Humberto Carillo. Great to see them on TV. First of all, they're cousins, so it just makes all the sense in the world for them to be a team. I know that they were kind of feuding for a little while there, but I don't think anyone remembers that, especially not people who, casual audiences. I don't think remember that. So to have Angel and Carillo be a team here, fantastic choice to have them on TV. They get announced as the most handsome team in WWE by Corey Graves, and I couldn't agree more. They are the most handsome team. Anyways, and Mansoor and Ali are fantastic. If you ask me who should be tag team champions right now, it's them. I really love their character work. I love everything that they do in the ring. They get so little time and they make the most out of every second they have on TV, and I always enjoy that. So the very handsome boys start off the match. Garza gets control there after Ali looks to leapfrog over Garza, and Garza nails him with a drop kick in midair. He rips off his pants. Great moment there, which I think most people were seeing for the first time, and so it's a little shocking, but I love it. Carillo in the ring now, and Ali is still in trouble. Ali looks to make a comeback, and he hits a nice tornado DT, as only he can do. He gets the hot tag to Mansoor. We get a back suplex double foot stomp from Ali and Mansoor. And we get a little bit of brawling on the outside. Mansoor looked for like a through the ropes drop kick, doesn't get it. And he's getting beat up by Angel Garza and Carrillo on the outside. Ali looks to make the save, but Ali gets nailed into the ring post, gets thrown back in the ring. Carrillo locks in a mutal lock, and Garza hits a nice basement drop kick right to his face. And they turn him over, get the pin. It's over. So big win for Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo here, really establishing them as a force in the tag team division. And I am very excited to see where this is going to go. Because this story right here, even if they just stick with these two teams, you have a family lineage and you have the mixed match team. And I think those dynamics can really make for a fun story. And everyone involved in this can put on great matches. And seemingly everyone involved in this knows how to be funny, knows how to hit their mark, and is entertaining, especially Mansoor and Ali. So I think you can't go wrong with this. Perfect time for a water break as we have a Karrion Kross recap package. Karrion Kross recap package, pretty much the same as all the other ones. He's just gonna, he's gonna be a man in a mask that's oddly awkward. Anyways, moving on now, we have the Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley tag team match against the current champions, well, current at the time, Tamina and Natalya. This one was a bit of a rush match. We did have a Connor's Cure like speech on the ramp beforehand, which was really touching. It looked like Rhea legit was about to cry, so that was really nice moment there, and it panned to a lot of the kids, so that's always nice to see. In the ring, though, we have a hot start as Tamina gives Nikki a bail toss across the ring, tags in Natty. They hit a heart attack at the immediate start of this match. We go to commercial and come back. Nikki is still isolated, has not made a tag. She gets hit with a Samoan drop from Tamina, and then Tamina looks to go for the splash, but Nikki gets her knees up. She's about to make a tag to Rhea, but Natty cuts off Nikki, and Tamina pulls Ripley off of the apron. Ripley and Tamina are fighting on the outside. Ripley hits a riptide onto the apron to Tamina, and and while that distracts Natty, Nikki rolls her up, and we have new tag team champions just like that. Rhea Ripley never was legally tagged into this match, so that's how fast this one was. And good moment for them though. I called it yesterday that they were gonna win titles a little too soon than they should, and yeah, I mean it's all right. I think if you would have done this at Extreme Rules, I really think it would be okay, but it's all right. We have new champions. We go to commercial, we come back. It is Alexa's playground. She brings out her special guest, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte forgets to bring Charlie, though. That's so rude. But it's okay because Alexa did. And Charlie's over. They're chanting Charlie. He's way too over. I haven't given much of my thoughts about this either, about the Alexa character. And I just don't, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I love Charlotte. I'm not huge on Alexa Bliss in general, and that might catch me some heat, but just the way she's been booked for a long time, if she wasn't a cowardly heel, she was having short matches that just didn't entertain me. But in this iteration of Alexa, I'm really not digging. I'm not into the Firefly Funhouse aesthetic, and I really wish that Charlotte was actually facing Rhea again, honestly. Someone to who, or anyone else, honestly, at this point. Because I think Charlotte's going to lose that title at Extreme Rules, and it's just, it means more Alexa's Playhouse, and I really don't like this stuff. But, anyways, personal feelings aside, Charlotte comes out. She has a really long promo, but essentially just calls out Alexis, tells her that she's fragile and she's using all this to cover up her insecurities. Well, Alexa responds by saying that Charlotte's insecurities are stamped on her forehead and that she doesn't know who she is without a title. And the crowd responds with like some woo chants, backing up Charlotte weirdly. And Alexa catches that and goes, "That's not even originally yours." And Charlotte catches her by saying, "Don't talk about originality here," which I thought was a great line, but it also kind of buried Alexa because, yeah, it's in the back of my mind this whole time that, she is ripping off the Fiend and the Fiend is no longer with the company. So it is weird to see Alexa continue this storyline that isn't hers. But nonetheless, this breaks down. Charlotte hits a big boot. She picks up Charlie and rips its head off and rubs it in Alexa's face. She then goes for Lily, and Alexa makes the save. She has a DDT and holds up Lily to end the segment. Again, just not my thing at all. And I really hope that this is like, I really hope I'm wrong and that Extreme Rules Charlotte's still champ, but I don't see it happening. I really think Alexa's going to win, especially with the crowd response. Following that, we have Operation 24/7. It's a plan that Drake Maverick has hatched in order to catch Reggie and allow himself, R-Truth, Drew Gulak, or Akira Tozawa to become the new 24/7 champion. The plan is just to have a net, catch Reggie, boom. Well, it doesn't work. None of it works. Drew Gulak gets caught in the net. Reggie escapes still, and the whole team is just very mad. R-Truth is especially mad at Drake Maverick. Don't know really what they're going for with these 24/7 things. I guess it's fine. It's a 24/7 division. Reggie's fun to see do parkour, so I guess they're just going to keep doing that for a little while. Following that, we have the Jeff Hardy and Sheamus matchup. This match I was really looking forward to, and it did deliver. We have Damian Priest on commentary, and we have some back and forth to start off. A lot of mentions of their feud last year, which let's not mention their feud last year, please. Sheamus catches a poetry in motion attempt on the outside and slams Hardy onto the apron. Sheamus then takes off his mask and starts his like Celtic Warrior taunt as we go into commercial. Come back from commercial. Yeah, it's coming back from the commercial. Sorry, y'all. Coming back from commercial, Jeff Hardy makes a comeback. He does that splash from the middle rope. This time it looks a lot less like he put his weight on it. He gets 2 off of that. Sheamus is now bleeding from his nose, which, yeah, you took off the mask, sir. And commentary makes a great point of he took off the mask on his own, and Corey's like, whoa, man, the guy has a broken nose, trying to defend him. It's great. Sheamus catches Hardy with a big boot out of the corner. Sheamus goes up top, hits a clothesline for 2. Sheamus reverses out of a twist of fate into a nice V trigger for 2. Towards the finish here, Hardy escapes a bro kick attempt, hits a twist of fate, goes for the swanton. Oh, and he lands ugly on Sheamus's knees, but still gets a roll up on Sheamus for 3. And then Sheamus, immediately following the match, goes up to Damian Priest and starts telling him that it's his fault he lost, which, no, it's not. They start to brawl on the outside. They get the whole referee, getting involved stuff. And Damian Priest is wearing like heels, and he at one point he jumps off the apron onto the floor, and you could tell he was like, "Oh, I wasn't supposed to do that in these shoes." But segment ends with them still brawling. They did not regain control before commercial break. But we come back, and it's main event time. The triple threat match between Big E, Roman Reigns, and Bobby Lashley. Man, this match was a lot of fun and hard to keep up with. If you watch no other match from Raw this year, this is the match to watch, period. This match was so much fun, and everyone looked good here. Everyone looked like they were supposed to be in this match. There was no weak link. everyone felt like a main event player. In WWE, often that is not the case, and they have done a great job of solidifying both Big E and Bobby Lashley in such a short period of time, to where it really does feel like Reigns is in there with his equals. So it's really fun. Into the meat of this big meaty match, we have a hot start, back and forth from everybody. Big E hits a splash on Bobby on the apron with lots of trash talk. Kevin Owens once said that Stone Cold told him to never stop talking, and it felt like Big E was doing that here. He talked a lot throughout this match, and it really adds something when you're given a beatdown and you're telling the person how you're giving them a beatdown. It's fantastic. He hits that splash. He's celebrating a little bit on the apron, and Roman hits that drive-by on him by surprise. We come back from commercial, and Bobby Lashley and Big E are still going at it in the ring. Roman comes in, and he clears Lashley out the ring. He goes for a drive-by onto Lashley, but Bobby smacks him out of the air with a nice, just a regular fist, and it sounded great. Lashley goes in the ring, gets caught by Big E for a Uranagi. We had a Samoan drop from Reigns, shutting down Big E's momentum. Reigns starts pounding on Bobby in the corner. He gets him up to the top rope. They're fighting up there, struggling. Eventually, Big E comes underneath Roman Reigns. We get a Tower of Doom, which was really fun to see. I wasn't expecting that. Big E on the comeback trail with those belly-to-belly suplexes. He hit about 4 of these throughout this match. He looks for a splash, but Lashley cuts him off, throws him out the ring. Lashley picks up Reigns, hits a flatliner, and now it's his match. He picks up Reigns again, nails a beautiful stalling suplex. Big E avoids a Dominator attempt and hits another belly-to-belly on Bobby Lashley. He then puts Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns side by side, runs those ropes, and hits a big double splash on both men for 2, and it looked rough. He looks for a spear to the outside, that apron spear he does to Roman. Roman blocks it. Lashley, from behind, has Big E, gets him for that one-handed spine buster, and slams Big E. That looked nasty. Him and Roman jockey for who's going to get the cover. Roman eventually throws Lashley out the ring, but can't get the finish off of that. Reigns gets up. He eats a big ending from Big E, obviously. And then Lashley breaks the pin. Lashley then drags Big E to the outside and drives him through the announce table. So now Lashley and Reigns, the last one's in there. Lashley looks for a spear, but instead eats a Superman punch for 2. Reigns does the ooh-ah for a spear, but he receives one instead. Very nice spot there. Big E breaks up that pin, and we nearly get a hurt lock on Big E. It looked milliseconds away from being locked in, but Roman breaks that up. Towards the finish here, Big E hits the spear off the apron to Roman Reigns, throws Roman back into the ring, hits the big ending in the ring. Looks like he has the match won, which was fantastic. That crowd was all bought in on that. Bobby comes in the ring with the chair, breaks up the pin, and he starts destroying Big E with the chair. He eats a spear from Reigns for 3, and the Tribal Chief walks away victorious on Monday Night Raw. Like I said, this was a fantastic match. One of the best TV matches we've seen all year. And truly might have been the best Raw we've seen all year. Overall, though, storyline-wise, moving into Extreme Rules, there have been some additions. Jeff Hardy's match ended with him being added to the Extreme Rules match between Sheamus and Damian Priest. So now that's a triple threat. I don't know exactly where this is going to go for Big E and Lashley. I'm assuming we're going to get a match between them at Extreme Rules, but it's the card's kind of filling out already, so we might not. Because Roman Reigns is still defending against the Demon. So I just really don't know where this is all going quite yet. I really don't think that Nia Jax will be back anytime soon because of that arm, the whole angle they're doing right now. But who knows? They could have an Extreme Rules match too. So not the most consequential Raw, but definitely one of the more fun Raws. And that's all I'm gonna ask for at this point. When you got a 3 hour show, let me have some fun in the meantime, you know? Um, would love to hear your guys' thoughts on Raw tonight. Would love to hear what you guys thought about that main event. That was just whoosh, that was a good match. So anyways, that will do it for me here on the Raw review. If you are on the Twitch, stick around. I will be giving my AEW Grand Slam predictions momentarily. But anyways, make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow the channel, do whatever you need to do to show some support to the channel here at Hold for Hold. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, IG, YouTube, anywhere you can. And until next time, goodbye.